We all know a friend or a friend's friend, or maybe you are this person who's good enough to be a professional skateboarder. They should have the pro boards, the pro shoes, fuck all the bitches, be in street league, make it rain on these hoes. But some of these skateboarders have had this opportunity and got their feet wet in the industry, and some of them took great big bites and turned professional skateboarders. Some didn't. This is my top 5 list of 5 amateur skateboarders who did not go pro. The first one on my list is Knox Godoy, the OG Baker M. He joined Brian Herman, Terry Kennedy. Evan Hernandez was in talks of being ready to turn pro, so I believe that they were pro at the same time. Knox was on his way. Knox, if he kept skateboarding, he had the opportunity. He was getting progressively better. He started Baker 2G. He was, for the time, I mean, you're talking 98, 99, early 2000s era, where he's doing no slides down 5 stairs. I know this is not for the time. Their selling point was he's a little kid and he's doing dangerous skateboarding. He's skating handrails and he's a little kid. So that's their selling point. Knox you could see him progressively getting better. I believe I saw an on-video part where he had longer hair. He even dyed it black. He was trying to be Reynolds with the fakey full cabs. He was doing looks like he was on the America Flow. And I even remember him wearing DCs. Shortly afterwards, I believe Beagle said that he had a kid. Although I don't know how you have a kid when you're a kid. I don't know how old he was, but he ended up having a kid. So that kind of fucked up his career a little bit. He didn't go into too much detail about Knox. I would love to know more. I'd love to interview the guy. What I heard last year from Jeremy Rogers is he saw Knox in jail. So he's probably not doing too well. Also, he tried to revamp his career as an adult with Warco skateboards. Warco was like a running ground to, if you had problems or a disconnect with your previous board sponsors or the relationship went fucked, you went to Warco. Examples would be Jacob Walder. He was also flow for Baker. Chajtown and after Element went sour. And, of course, Knox Godoy. Knox had the opportunity. He was getting better. And, sadly enough, he went to jail instead. That sucks. Number 2 on my list was someone who was almost guaranteed. It looked like he was on the right path. He had the momentum. I'm talking about someone, he was on America. He was on Foundation. I'm talking about none other than Matt Allen. Matt Allen was on the right path. His That's Life part was so, he looked like he could do any tricks. Switch tray flips on flat. He had regular tray flips were clean as fuck. His frontside flips were dope. His switch game was okay. Man, he was on the path. His rail game was good too. He had backsmiths and salad grinds. Most notably, the salad grind that went down Hollywood High 16. So clean. He had one other video part for Foundation, and he also had the America video part called "This Is Skateboarding." And he had the last part on the on the amateur section. It was Leo Romero, I think it was Darren Everett, and then Matt Allen. Matt Allen was the truth. He was on his way. He had another video part with Foundation called Cataclysmic Abyss, which would ultimately be his last video part. He got fat. He got bigger. I remember Corey Duffel was saying in a free lunch that they were going to turn him pro and they were going to put on the board Fat Allen. Of course, Josh Beagle's a dick for making that joke, but maybe Matt Allen did something to deserve that. I was reading comments, and I don't know if it's true or not, but if it's on the internet, it's true, saying that he was partying a lot. I believe it because he was smoking cigarettes, and I don't remember him doing that. I don't remember ever seeing a cigarette in his hand prior to that, but as far as prior to That's Life, he got big, and his video part was good, but it was subpar. For as long as he was becoming, I hate to use the term, they call it a man-am, where you're a man and you're above the age of 18 and you're still an amateur skateboarder. So he was becoming he was that, and it sucks because he was on the right path. He had built up so much momentum in That's Life. If he had come out with another good video part, that would have been it. And it was good. It was. If you look at the other pros and they're younger than you and they're going more ham, do you really want to justify that and just give this guy a board? And then probably another part was too, because he's getting fat now. You're having a hard time finding marketable value in Matt. Matt Allen, I'm sorry. I'm so bummed that you didn't turn pro. You were my favorite. I'm sorry. Number 3 I want to split a little bit. Number 3, you're talking about both these names probably most people won't know. Tony Silva and Charlie Castelluzzo. Tony Silva also wrote for Foundation. He was also in That's Life, and that would be his last big video part, because that was a big video, That's Life for Foundation. Tony Silva ended up leaving Foundation, and he had an okay video part, not too many, nothing too crazy. He left Foundation and he started to try to do a career with Stereo. And then shortly afterwards, he disappeared. So you didn't hear much from Tony Silva. There's a lot of, I hate to say it, but if you ride for Foundation, you're kind of shooting yourself a foot. You're kind of flipping a coin, because it doesn't look like too many skateboarder. It doesn't look like good job security there. You can make a note for Marquise Preston and David Reyes, who rode for Foundation previous to Mystery. And then you could also throw out Matt Allen. So there's Tony Silva. Charlie Castelluzzo. He rode for Pigwood. Pigwood they had one video part. It was called Slaughterhouse. Their only professional skateboard, I believe, was Ragdoll. At the time, you're talking about all these Charlie Castelluzzo. Let's talk about the team. Pigwood had Charlie Castelluzzo, Sharik and Shannon, Ragdoll's pro. Sammy Baca, Lizard King, and Slash. They had a pretty stacked team. And considering all those skateboarders now, except for Charlie Castelluzzo, is still relevant. You can make an argument for Ragdoll, and I saw that he's doing something on his own in an interview. I forgot where I heard that. I forgot where he's doing. But Charlie Castelluzzo, the reason he's on my list is because he actually complimented me on my tray flips one time in the schoolyard. Charlie had a dope video part. His style is clean. Wasn't the best. For the time, he looked like his video part, it was like, damn, I want another Charlie part. He also wrote for Mata Clothing. Notable names for that would be Garrett Hill, Kevin Romar, Steve McNeil, James Brockman. Charlie was the dopest. His Four-Leaf Clover song in that video part, it was clean. And it looked promising that he was on his way to wanting to, he was on his way to put him, he was on his way, talk, idiot. He was on his way to be in a position where he could put himself in it to be in a discussion to want to be pro. Number 4 on my list is someone who was guaranteed. People rolled out the red carpet for this guy. He was guaranteed. He was given all the opportunity to turn pro. And we're talking about Greg Myers. Greg Myers was on his way. Since he was a little kid, he was riding for... Oh, got to turn that off. I'm almost done with this video. He was on his way to becoming one of the... He was almost guaranteed... Okay, this is what I'm talking about. He was in the DC video. He's doing switchback 180s down Rincon as a kid. He's like on Knox Godoy's level, but at the time, like, this is what little kids are supposed to be doing. Like, little kids shouldn't be doing this shit. It's not possible. How's Greg Myers doing switchback 180s down Rincon? How's that possible? He's showing up some of the pros at this point. He's setting the bar higher. So Greg Myers, I don't know what was up with his board sponsors. I'm a little confused because I don't know if Greg Myers, if he was on Zero or not, or if I'm getting confused with Ryan Bobbier. I guess he was on Mystery. DC and Crew were his biggest sponsors. He spoiled the fuck out of those. I remember even as he gotten older, I remember he was doing an interview with Colin McKay, and he was like, he was hyped, he was ready, he was getting back into the swing of things. And he dropped that welcome skateboarding is forever part, and I thought that was it. I thought he was going to turn pro, but I don't know who he was on board sponsors. I think he was on Seek too. I could be wrong, but he was on his way. That part was pro skateboarder caliber footage. That was gnarly. And then he goes and he tries to steal a car. Well, you know what's going to happen when you do that? That's bad press. No one's going to want to buy. Oh yeah, let me buy the Greg Myers board. Yeah, let me get the Grand Theft Auto graphic of him. You know what I mean? Greg Myers is on his way. It didn't happen. That's like the saddest case right there. Number 5 on my list. It's one I'm sad to see on my list. because he's really fucking good. He's gnarly. I'm talking about Josiah Gatling. Josiah, he started his career with stereo. I believe he was in the banger Self. Yes, the banger Self. The second season, or the second banger Self with the Barracks. I know he was one of the finalists. Corey Kennedy won that year. And it sucks because whenever I see Corey Kennedy, this is lame of me to think that, but when I see Corey Kennedy, I'm like, where Corey Kennedy's at in his career is where Josiah Gatling should be at. Because he's just as good. He's just as good. I'm a big Josiah Gatling fan. He had started with stereo. He had a recruit done with the Barracks. He had a lot of things that were that were good, that should have worked out for him. Then he tried to do a career with Zero. Now, I was actually a little surprised at that. He was also on Gatorade too. He was on Gatorade. He was on Zero. And it didn't work out. I don't know what happened. I tried doing an interview with Josiah one time. I actually asked it. I told him to hit me up via Twitter. He was. If you look at the footage, I mean, one of the sickest things that he used to do is he was upside down on a carpet and he would flip his board doing hard flips and tray flips. That's some scary shit. Laying on your back. Try to lay on your back and do a kick flip. Fuck that. That's fucking scary. That hard flip was clean. He did a hard flip on flat. And he also had mean nasty hard flips. He had mean nasty hard flips. He had switch tray flips. That was his shit. Switch heel flips were nasty too. I liked how he did his switch heels. And then after Zero cut him, and then they were doing Threat for a little bit, and then he was on Threat. Garrett Hill said he's on Threat, and then you saw nothing, and then that's it. Now he's gone. He's disappeared. I don't know if I should share this or not, but Josiah Gatling's doing he's doing commercials for, like, he edits commercials. And that's a sad case. All these skateboarders they all had their opportunity. Josiah and Greg Myers is the worst ones. So is Matt Allen. Those break my heart the most. If you look at the link below, you'll see video parts for all these individuals and their best footage. You'll see Knox Godoy, Baker 2G, Matt Allen, and Cataclysmic Abyss, and That's Life. Tony Silva, That's Life. Charlie Castelluzzo, and Slaughterhouse. Greg Myers, skateboarding is for... That video part was nasty. And Josiah Gatling and all his footage. Leave down in the comments what you think about my list.